No excuses. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take a good hard look. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see potential wrapped in excuses. I see greatness suffocating under the weight of tomorrow. Your excuses are nothing but lies you tell yourself to feel comfortable with mediocrity. I don't have time. I don't have resources. I'm not talented enough. These words are poison to your potential. The world doesn't care about your excuses. Success doesn't hear them. Greatness doesn't acknowledge them. While you're explaining why you can't, someone else is showing why they could. Every second you spend crafting the perfect excuse is a second wasted. That pain you're avoiding, it's the transformation your life is begging for. That discomfort you run from, it's the chrysalis of your evolution. You weren't born to be ordinary. You weren't created to simply exist. You were meant to leave a mark so profound that time itself remembers your name. Your ancestors didn't survive plagues, wars, and famines so you could sit comfortably scrolling through the achievements of others. They fought so you could become something. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The universe doesn't reward those who wait. It bows to those who act. Your excuses don't define you, but your response to challenges does. Every obstacle is a test of your resolve, not a sign to retreat. What if today was your last day? Would you be proud of the excuses you made, or would you wish for one more chance to prove yourself wrong? The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your burden. There are people with less than you achieving more than you. Let that sink in. They're not exceptional. They simply refuse to be defined by their circumstances. Your mind will quit 1,000 times before your body does. Your fear will paint vivid pictures of failure before you've even begun. But champions aren't those without fear. They're those who act despite it. No more, "I'll start Monday." No more, "when I have better equipment." No more, "after I finish this last episode." The clock is ticking. Your potential is screaming for release. Your future self is begging you to stop making excuses and start making progress. So what's it going to be? Another day of comfortable excuses or your first day of uncomfortable growth? The choice has always been yours. Make it count. Let me tell you about two individuals who started with nothing. One looked at his empty hands and said, "I have nothing, therefore I can do nothing." He spent his days explaining his failures, collecting reasons why success wasn't possible for someone like him. Years passed. His excuses became more refined, more believable, even to himself. But his life remained unchanged. The other looked at the same empty hands and said, "I have nothing to lose." Every rejection became a lesson. Every failure became a stepping stone. While others slept, he worked. While others complained, he improved. He didn't have more time than anyone else. He just refused to waste it on excuses. Today, we know the second man's name. The first? He's just another forgotten statistic, a cautionary tale of potential unrealized. Which story are you writing right now? Consider for a moment the nature of human potential. It exists not as a fixed quantity, but as an ever-expanding horizon, limited only by our willingness to journey toward it. Your excuses are not merely practical objections. They're existential choices about the kind of being you wish to become. Each time you choose comfort over growth, you're not just postponing success. You're actively participating in constructing a diminished version of yourself. What you perceive as external limitations are often internal boundaries disguised as immovable obstacles. The profound truth is that most barriers exist primarily in your mind before they manifest in your reality. The philosopher Seneca noted, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." Your perception creates your reality. Choose wisely. Let's break down the mathematics of excuses versus action. If you make one excuse per day, that's 365 excuses per year. Each excuse prevents approximately 1 to 3 hours of productive work. Conservative estimate, 500 hours of productivity lost annually. The average expert requires 10,000 hours to master their craft. At a lost rate of 500 hours per year, your excuses are costing you 20 years of delayed mastery. Studies show that consistent action, even just 20 minutes daily, produces 85% better results than sporadic intensive efforts. The compound effect of small, consistent actions exponentially outperforms the occasional burst of motivation. Statistically speaking, those who focus on systems rather than goals achieve their desired outcomes 76% more frequently. Your excuses aren't just emotional barriers. They're quantifiable obstacles with measurable consequences. I understand how overwhelming it all can feel sometimes. The weight of expectations, the fear of failure, the uncertainty of whether your efforts will bear fruit. These are natural human concerns that we all face. Your excuses didn't emerge from nowhere. They often began as protection mechanisms, shields against disappointment and judgment. I acknowledge that pain. But know this, you deserve more than what your excuses will allow you to become. Your heart knows what you're capable of, even when your mind clouds with doubt. The gap between where you are and where you could be isn't filled with more capability. It's filled with courage. Be gentle with yourself, but don't confuse gentleness with complacency. True self-compassion doesn't mean lowering your standards. It means supporting yourself unconditionally through the journey of meeting them.
Enough! The time for contemplation is over. The time for action is now. Stand up, step forward, make the call, send the application, write the first page, run the first mile. Whatever it is that you've been postponing, do it today. No more waiting for perfect conditions. No more preparing to prepare. No more researching about researching. Your excuses end here. Your new story begins now. The world doesn't reward those who have the most potential. It rewards those who use what they have. Your moment isn't coming. It's already here, slipping through your fingers with every second of hesitation. No excuses, only results. Your time is now.